In the blue corner, ITV's Love Island, which dropped the word celebrity from its title this year because most of the participants were such crashing non-entities, your best chance of spotting a face you actually recognised was to sit so close to the screen you could see your own reflection. See those fish in the background? They're more famous than him. As autumn arrived, so did the regular non-celebrity version of The X Factor, which did its level best to tick every minority box under the sun by including a sexy woman in a wheelchair. I'd push all the way to the bedroom. A pair of eerie conjoined twins who faintly resembled a pair of haunted porcelain dolls who'd just come alive on the sideboard. And this bloody thing. Fuck off! Sky stepped into the reality ring, literally, with Cirque du Celebrité, which functioned as a sort of rehab unit for people from other reality shows. It included Saeed from The Apprentice, Big Brother Uber bitch Grace, and Love Island mobile crying system Sophie Anderton, none of whom are seen here plunging to their deaths. December brought the now annual helping of the downright cartoonish I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which is effectively Cannibal Holocaust reenacted with soap stars. This was the highlight, Dean Gaffney's live Bush Tucker trial, which he spent alternately retching, screaming and accidentally murdering hundreds of tiny bugs which nobody cares about.
We've got 2 boxes here, you've got to put your hand in. Right hand in this one, left hand in this one. There is a star in there, you've got to reach for the star. Yeah, so when you're ready...
Are you telling me when?
Yeah, off you go, mate.
Look at him there, he's so bewildered they could just toss him a live baby and a bread knife and tell him he had to saw its head off and he'd just do it. You know, trying to follow the escalating stupidity of reality shows is a bit like ascending a ladder towards some kind of surreal event horizon. Every so often you have to look down and get giddy at just how far we've come from normal. What's that, a member of Busted eating a kangaroo anus? I mean, I'm sure he's not the first boy band member to eat out an arsehole, he's just the first to do it on ITV1. Anyway, that was the year in reality. Now I'm going to do a celebratory little jig to cover up the fact that I can't think of an end line for this bit. Now, I neither know nor, quite frankly, care if you've noticed, but since the year 2000 we've been living in the future. It's all sliding doors and Bluetooth headsets and talking hover cars. Well, pretty much. Mostly, though, it's the internet which has been slaying everything in its path. And it's already slaughtered the fax machine, the traditional telephone, and the plate. Sorry, not the plate, just felt like smashing one and another one. F*** you, plates. But of course nothing seems quite as doomed as the telly itself. Why bother tuning in to watch stuff when you can download it from a torrent site or see it on YouTube? That's what the youth of today do. To this modern little sod, the television set itself seems as hopelessly antiquated as a mangle. Why does she need a machine to sit in the corner of the room barking at her anyway? She's got parents to do that, haven't you? You little lip ring wearing cow. Modern f***. You make me want to throw up. You and your youth, hope you enjoy it. It'll all go wrong, mark my words, it always does. Enjoy your YouTube while it lasts, you The way things are going, you'll probably be able to watch things on the soles of your shoes before long, and for no reason at all. But that kind of seamless integration is still years away, so in the meantime, what did telly do? Well, it desperately pretended it was as democratic and as user-driven as the internet, patronising the viewer half to death in the process.
Here's Philip Dean's report that he sent in to your news.
This is one of the cycle lanes I use regularly in West London.
Yes, today everyone's a citizen journalist and the news actively begs for your input.
If you send your story to our website and we use it on air, we'll pay you at least £100.
Not everyone's happy about it, though.
In the meantime, it's all available again on the website, along with our editor's pathetic pleas for you to send some of us your old bits of home movie and the like, so we can become the BBC's version of Animals Do the Funniest Things. Good night.
And it's not just clips. For some reason, modern news services like Sky News are weirdly interested in getting you to spill your opinions, no matter what those opinions might be.
We have a capital city that is full of Islamics and other terrorists sitting in London on our benefit, and we have a case where we watch Nick Griffin being persecuted, some might say, because he dares to say that Islam is dangerous, and yet we see all the time people coming
Well, sweeping generalisations, Elizabeth, are dangerous, aren't they?
I don't know, maybe I'm alone in this, but when I watch the news, I want to see a qualified, well-informed journalist telling me what's going on, not some common or garden f***so blaring their ignorant opinion at me. If I wanted that, I'd shout into a mirror, wouldn't I? Yeah, I would. What do you think about it? I think we should send them all back. That's funny, so do I. Some shows went even further, inviting viewers to, well, make the entire show for them. Take this, totally viral, proof that anything that might seem dimly amusing when viewed on the internet magically becomes a steaming pixelated shit heap the moment it transfers to proper telly. Yes, in 2006, the line between TV and the internet blurred into insignificance. All we need to do now is work on the line between TV, the internet and the sandwich toaster, and we're really in business. Now here's writer and actor Mark Gatiss with a tribute to Nigel Neal, who died this year.
I think our greatest loss this year was the writer Nigel Neal, who is the creator, most famously, of Quatermass, a huge influence on me and on many other writers. Nigel Neal was the great pioneer of TV drama. To this day, not really given the credit he's due. It's become a bit of a cliche to say it, but the Quatermass experiment kind of landed like a rocket into the nation's expectations of what television could give them. It appears to be a slightly hokey sci-fi idea, but at its essence, it's a very human story.
Now, here's the wife of one of them, Mrs. Caroon. Mrs. Caroon, if you don't mind my asking, what was your farewell message?
I think I said, take care of yourself, darling, and don't forget to bring me something back.
And then, by the time of the third one, Quatermass the Pit, the most famous one, they find a 5 million-year-old Martian spacecraft, which is covered in what appear to be sort of Kabbalistic symbols.
This is no freak, nothing freakish about it. A consistent but unknown species.
And you see its echoes from right through, obviously, Doctor Who, Stargate, virtually everything that has a lost civilization is completely in hock to Quatermass and the Pit. And it's one of those things that now it seems so familiar you can't believe it hadn't been done before, but it hadn't. He did a play for the BBC in 1968 called The Year of the Sex Olympics. When Big Brother began on television, I remember kind of wanting to talk to someone and say, has anyone not noticed what's happening? A bright executive comes up with the idea of putting some people on an island and watching them 24 hours a day on camera.
They're watching my show now, see? See by their faces? Put them off food, put them off sex, or most of them got no work to do, all autoed for them. Just sit. Dead by 35.
He was an incredible prophet, and therefore without honour. In the 70s, Neil did a series for ITV called Beast. The one I remember very well is Baby, about this which is familiar in a jar. It's about a vet and his pregnant wife move into this cottage. Obviously what's happened at some stage in the history of the house is a witch has put a curse on the land. It starts to give you this creeping unease, and you know, because the baby's fine, but that something's going to go terribly wrong.
Peter? I don't know if we...
Oh, shit!
Oh, God. It's something dead.
Because he's a vet, Simon McCorkindale wants to examine it, but his wife knows it's wrong.
It's more like a little pig, but I'm not sure that it was ever actually born.
And they've got the builders in, that's why they're knocking the wall down. The older builder, and he's a kind of totemic Neil figure. He's the one who knows. He's just old enough to have some sort of link to the past.
It'd have purpose.
You mean bad purpose?
Most like.
You realise when you watch it again that he doesn't actually say what it is at all, but it's just a series of impressions that make you feel slightly nauseous. And he says a thing like that, it would have had to have been suckled.
A thing like that? It'd have been suckled, you know.
What?
Human suckling.
I watched that with my mum when I was about 10. We just sat there and felt sick. I think Nigel Neal's legacy is just kind of landscape-changing pieces of drama. Everyone in the industry owes him a huge debt. I really think a great man has passed, and we'll never see his like again.
2006 didn't have too many original ideas of its own, and consequently several things made a comeback this year. We've already seen the return of rave, Cold War intrigue, and most exciting of all, Scooby-Doo. Okay, Okay, so Torchwood wasn't actually a live-action remake of Scooby-Doo, it just felt that way. After all, it revolved around a gang of youngsters who spend all their time chasing monsters. The cartoon gang even had their own mystery machine to drive around in. Those lights are just ridiculous. If they really want to turn up looking stupid, they might as well stick an inflatable dick on the bonnet and have done with it. The main problem with Torchwood, apart from all the unnecessary aerial shots of Cardiff, was that while on the one hand it felt like a silly, breezy bit of escapism aimed at teenagers or possibly kids, on the other hand it was also jam-packed with visceral unpleasantness and lots of steamy anything-goes shaggery. The end effect was weirdly jarring, a bit like watching an episode of Chucklevision with fighting and cum shots in it.
When was the last time you came so hard and so long you forgot where you are?
Oh, that's easy. It was Remembrance Sunday. I was supposed to be helping out with it. Oh, you don't need to know this. Another comeback that wasn't technically a comeback was Robin Hood. The BBC subjected him to such a thorough modernising, the whole thing ended up looking like a cross between an Arctic Monkeys promo and a sort of sword and chainmail role-playing game, complete with location names whipping onto the screen like they were entering the start of a new level. What is this, Grand Theft Sherwood? The main problem really is that this Robin Hood's so young-looking you half expect him to whip out a phone in the middle of every battle and start taking photos of it to put on his MySpace page. This year, ITV itself apparently died and then came back from the dead. After a string of high-profile mess-ups, it reached into its own past and dug up some well-loved treasures from yesteryear. Some of these were lowbrow things like Family Fortunes, which returned in an all-star format hosted by TV's village idiot Vernon Kay, and whose title sequence was possibly the single most idiotic cultural artefact mankind has yet produced. ITV also found time to revive some of their well-respected quality shows, such as the dark, brooding crime serial Cracker, and the equally dark and equally brooding Prime Suspect. Helen Mirren returned as DCI Jane Tennyson, battling the bottle and a world full of made-up kids who find mobile phones more interesting than people in it.
Sitting in the kitchen.
Was she with someone?
No.
So she was on her own?
Oi. Poor old Tennyson spent most of the show gnawing the sandwich of misery and washing it down with the booze of depressed policewoman. Adding to her problems were a dad at death's door and a sidekick who sounded eerily like Todd Carty.
Got Cox on the line, finally making his way through all that CCTV footage.
And?
Tony Sturdy took a weird route home.
The whole thing was extremely well crafted, but unrelentingly miserable, consisting of one leaden slab of despair piled on top of another.
Foxes have been at her. Fingers and arms, mainly.
Yeah, well, those are the best bits.
She may only have been 14, but there was a perfectly formed fetus growing inside her. There it is.
No, I'm only kidding, it's a bucket of tomatoes, really.
Police have charged a 42-year-old man with having unlawful sex with a 14-year-old girl who was found murdered last week.
I think Aunt Is Bloom was about to start on BBC One. The world of Prime Suspect is so bleak you can't even go for a shit-in piece. Anyway, assuming you made it to the end without killing yourself, Prime Suspect was one of the better programmes of the year and proof that ITV is still more than capable of making quality programmes that command a big audience. So yes, well done ITV. God, I'm a patronising shit. I hate me. Okay, that's the end of our review of the year. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be back in a few weeks with more of the same, and by more of the same I mean this. Reports about the ghastly backside of television, lots of reviews where I sit grumbling in my hovel, and lots of great contributors like the fantastic US stand-up Doug Stanhope.
Sometimes I just watch TV just to hate what I'm watching. You wouldn't watch opera, but if they made Battle of the Operas, you'd pick an opera and call a 900 up. I won't vote for my opera. Get your opera off TV. Bring my opera back. I'm a big opera fan.